This episode is exclusively sponsored by CanWe. Get clear on what you and your date are looking for faster. CanWe is your expert guide on your dating journey. Check out the CanWe app in Apple's App Store or on Google Play. Hi there, I'm Vincent and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing no contact rule, Q&A. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing no contact rule, Q&A. So if you've gone through a breakup, then you might have heard people suggest you implement the no contact rule. But what does this mean? In today's podcast, I'm going to be answering 3 questions about the no contact rule. So let's get straight into this. And number 1 is, what is the no contact rule? So the no contact rule, or going no contact, is a concept of removing your contact with the aim of trying to get your ex back. It will also help with your breakup recovery and grow you as a person. It's important to say that if someone doesn't have the aim of trying to get their ex back, then I wouldn't refer to this as the no contact rule, even if in essence it is the same procedure. An example of this is when a dumper ends a relationship. They will often vanish from the life of their ex, but this isn't them using the no contact rule, because at this time they have no desire to reconnect and they are simply living their life as a singleton on a new path without their ex. So looking at that again a little bit more deeply, when somebody ends a relationship, they are dictating the fact that they no longer want to be within this connection, and therefore it's very likely that they will technically go no contact. They will vanish from their ex's life. They won't be contacting them anymore. But this is not them using the no contact rule. So even though it is in essence the same procedure, they are removing their contact, they are vanishing from their ex's life. This is not them going no contact in the realms of what we are trying to explain today. The no contact rule is on the basis that you want to try to get your ex back. Additionally, it has the benefits of helping you through breakup recovery and improving you as a person through personal growth. But if you aren't trying to get your ex back, then even if you aren't contacting your ex, you aren't using the no contact rule. So again, if you're a dumpee, you have had your relationship ended, maybe at the time you didn't want it to happen, but maybe you think, you know what, I don't want my ex back. I've been dumped, but I don't want them back. Well, you are very likely to never want to contact your ex again. Now again, this doesn't mean you are using the no contact rule, because you don't want your ex back. So for me, the crucial element of the no contact rule is the belief that you would like to reconnect with your ex. As I said, additionally, it will help you through your breakup recovery and your personal growth. So these are extra byproducts of using the no contact rule. But at the end of the day, the key element of the no contact rule is that you want to try to get your ex back by removing your presence from your ex's life. It's also important for me to say that there are many different versions of the no contact rule that you can find online. And I believe that my version will give you the best possible chance of success. These different versions of a rule will all have their own slight variations, their slight differences, sometimes quite large differences. Again, it depends on where you look, what you read, and what you listen to. All of these versions of a rule might be referred to as the no contact rule, but depending on who is dictating the rule will depend somewhat on what the rules and regulations within this are. So as I said, I believe that my version of a rule will give you the best possible chance of success, and I go into it in depth about all the different nuances of my version of a rule on my playlist on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out the playlist which is entitled The No Contact Rule. If you listen to this playlist all of the way through, you will fully immerse yourself in my variety of a rule and fully understand why I believe it will give you the best possible chance of success. There is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back, but I believe my version of a no contact rule will enable you to grow as a person, recover from a breakup, and give you the best possible chance of one day in the future getting your ex back. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about no contact rule Q&A. And number 2 is, will my ex forget me if I go no contact? It's an understandable concern that your ex might forget you if you use the no contact rule. By the very virtue of the rule, you are disappearing from their life. You are no longer contacting them. But this is not the reality. Firstly, you need to remember that if you're a dumpee, then your ex ended the relationship. You have no choice but to go no contact. So whether or not you believe that no contact is a good idea for you to be following, at the end of the day, if you have been dumped, you have no choice but to use the no contact rule. If you ignore your ex's request to end the relationship, if you ignore your ex when they say this relationship is over, and you think I'm just going to keep bombarding them with texts, with phone calls, with knocking on their door, you will be chasing your ex away, because you will be frustrating them and you will be acting low value. You will be very unlikely to get your ex back if A, your former partner doesn't believe you respect them, and if you're not listening to when they want to end the relationship, then you are not respecting them. And B, if you keep proceeding in a way where you present yourself as a low value individual. When somebody ends a relationship, they automatically become the high value individual and the dumpee becomes the low value individual. And relationships best work when the scales of value are roughly level. So if you are low value, if you're somebody who is a dumpee, the last thing you want to do is to decrease your value even further. You need to be growing your value. So the last thing you want to do is come across as somebody who is needy and somebody who is desperate. And if you chase your ex after the relationship is over, after the dust has settled, if you keep chasing your ex through text messages, phone calls, knocking on their door, any other type of way, then you are not presenting yourself as high value. You're actually decreasing your value even further. So it's so important that you don't annoy your ex. It's so important that you showcase yourself as high value and somebody who respects what somebody else has said. This person is someone you say that you love, yet you don't respect them. They are saying they don't feel fulfilled in this relationship anymore. They are saying that they don't feel they can proceed in this relationship, and yet you are ignoring what they are saying and just thinking about yourself. Now, of course, it's very understandable to be concerned for your own feelings, but please understand and respect the fact that your ex, your former partner, is not feeling fulfilled, and that is why they ended the relationship. And ironically, what this means is the best chance of getting them back is to create distance, is to move forward on your own path, accept and respect the breakup, and move forward on your own journey, implementing my version of the no contact rule. Also, it's very important to remember, secondly to all of this, is that your ex will never forget you, because romantic relationships are very special and unique. A romantic relationship is not like an acquaintance. You are somebody who will always be in your ex's life story, and they will always be in yours. You will always remember each other. It doesn't matter if you don't speak for 100 years, you will remember each other. So you going no contact is not going to create a situation where your ex forgets who you are and just never thinks about you. You know, if there are any triggers which come across your ex during their life, and trust me, there will be plenty of triggers across many, many weeks, months and years of your ex's life, they will have these triggers and they will be thinking of you. Anything which makes you think of your ex will also make your ex think of you. So in answer to this question, will my ex forget me if I go no contact? The answer is no. your ex will never forget you. So now let's move into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about no contact rule Q&A. And point number 3 is the no contact rule only for dumpees? No, the no contact rule can also be used for dumpers, but only if they change their mind on the breakup and want to reconnect. So as I said in point number 1, if a dumper ends a relationship and then vanishes from their dumpee's life, this is not them implementing the no contact rule, because they've ended a relationship and they've moved forward on their own life. They don't want to speak with their ex right now because they don't want to lead them on, they don't want to reconnect. This is not the no contact rule, it's just them simply not contacting their ex because they want to move on their own journey. But if a dumper changes their mind at some stage and wants to reconnect with their ex, then yes, there is opportunity for them to use the no contact rule on their dumpee. But you're probably thinking, well, how can this happen? What is the difference between a dumper not contacting their ex after they end the relationship, and how is this compared to if and when a dumper changes their mind and wants to use the no contact rule? What is the difference between not contacting their ex and not contacting their ex? And that's a great question. But there is a key moment that has to happen in between. And this would involve the dumper initiating contact with their ex and then implementing my version of the no contact rule at this time. So basically, a dumper will end a relationship, they will go off on their own journey, not contacting their ex. This is not the no contact rule. And then at some stage, they will change their mind and they will want to reconnect with their ex. At this moment, the dumper must contact their ex. I always suggest via text message or some other type of messaging application. And at that moment, they then implement my version of a no contact rule. So again, if you're a dumper, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please ring the bell for notifications, and please check out my playlist entitled The No Contact Rule. And you will understand my version of a rule, which is what you need to implement, the only difference being that you need to contact your ex first. So as a dumpee, you should never contact your ex again unless they contact you first, with a few exceptions here and there. As a dumper, if and when you change your mind, you must contact your ex, but only once. You contact your dumpee once, and then at that stage, you never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. If you're wondering what you need to be typing as a dumper when you send this message, again, please check out my playlist, The No Contact Rule. I explain this in depth. You can also, of course, book an audio coaching session if you're a dumper or a dumpee and want to discuss the no contact rule, what this means for you, and how I suggest you implement it to increase the chance of you one day getting your ex back. There is no 100% guaranteed way to achieve success, but what I can say is that if you do enough of the right things, you will increase your chance of success. And ultimately, that is all we can do. Do enough of the right things to increase our chances of having a happy and fulfilling future. Even if you don't get your ex back, please don't be fearful, because with or without your ex, you will have a positive future. If you live a positive life, then you can find somebody even better than your ex. So it's win-win. You will either get your ex back or you will find somebody even better. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.